And I've talked to so many business owners that have said, like, Ryan, I got a bunch of people in my company, they're working, but none of them are leaders. And I'm kind of like, I just keep bringing in more and more people, but no one's raising up as leaders. And I asked the person, I said, have you built the infrastructure? What kind of infrastructure do you have? Hello and welcome to another episode of Partners Corner. My name is Ryan Adams and I'm here today with my wonderful friend, Beatriz Canguçú, COO of Humify.
Good to be here.
How you doing? You doing good?
Good, great.
We have a wonderful topic that we're going to be talking about. This is something we're very passionate about, right? We were talking about this before this recording about how passionate we are about building people, right?
Yes,
we love building up people.
We love to see raise new leaders, see them flourish.
I mean, that's what our business is all about. You know, many people ask me, Ryan, like, what do you do? I say, well, we're in the business of people, building up people, connecting them to the right people so that both sides can flourish. Yeah. Whether it's a company that's starting out and getting started and they're growing and really don't know how to grow, we want to walk with them and give them all the tools necessary to grow and flourish as a company. Or for remote workers, right, that are looking to be plugged into incredible companies. That's what our company is all about.
So good.
And so we are very focused on building not just people, but developing leaders.
Yes.
And I think there's a lack of leadership in today's generation.
Yes.
Don't you believe?
I think every time people want the easy way. And be a leader for any circumstance, for the well-known past or history, is require a lot of resilience. It is a tough path. It is a tough journey.
Yeah, it is a very tough journey. It's not an impossible journey. And this is something we kind of want to break down because I believe a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of leaders really feel like, Ryan, I've had people ask me this question before, like, Ryan, like, how do you get these people to work? Like, how do you get these types of people to work within your organization? How do you find these people? And I kind of laughed to myself because when we find the majority of these people, they are not ready for leadership.
They were raw.
They're about as raw as it gets. And so today we're going to talk about how to find, raise, and release leaders in your organization. This is such a powerful topic, and I really want you guys to stay tuned. Get your notebook. We're going to go real quick. This is always a quick sessions that we have, but it's going to be powerful. So let's jump right into this. Number one. And we're going to give 3 points today, okay? Because we like to we'll follow that kind of structure. So we're going to give you 3 points, 3 ways in which you can help really grow in this area. So whether you're finding, raising, or releasing a leader, how do you do this? So let's check the first one out, finding these types of leaders. I call them finding the hidden leaders because I feel like they're very hard to find. So how do we find leaders? How do we find potential leaders? What do they look like?
Yeah, look for the right things. So what we would call them the right things in our experience would be humility, initiative, and not just charisma. I'm a living proof that my leadership wasn't building at first. Now I'm learning and I'm growing, but in charisma at first. Sometimes when you see someone, look if that person is a go-getting person. If the person is not is not communicating what they want, but they are actually showing with the actions.
That's so good.
Because sometimes someone says, I want your opportunity, I want to grow, I want to work. Okay, so starting doing it. And for the journey that when you're doing things, we can see your potential skills and ability that you're not even seeing it. And we can help you to grow with them.
That's so good. And I agree with you 100% that it's not just the charisma. And I think so many times within leadership or within the search for good leaders it's not always the loudest. It's the most hungriest, the ones who are hungry. And that's something that we've always looked at as how hungry are you for this?
Yes.
Because hunger will cause you to go places that you never thought yourself could go to. As well as I believe hunger will draw you to bring others alongside you. I think that's what we always say, the hungry people, you will usually attract other hungry people. The people that are just all show, the people that are just super loud, they're like the fireworks. They're like the shooting stars. They're there for a moment, super bright, and then they just fade away. But the hungry ones, they're the determined ones. They're the ones that are going to go after it, and that inspires other people. So for us, we've always searched after the hungry ones. And there's always been a healthy provision of other people behind those people along the way that they kind of walk together, right?
Yep.
Has it been easy? Obviously, it's not easy, but it's something that we have always really focused on is, okay, don't just look for the charisma. Don't just look for those people that are the loudest, but look for those that have initiative.
Yeah.
And so I believe finding hidden leaders is all about looking for these types of people.
And one thing about the other side that we are starting this conversation, the humility side, it's look for someone that are hungry to achieve things, but is also open to receive feedback and criticism.
So good. So good.
Because that's when you also see how much is the person there for you. Mm-hmm. When the first time you come and you need to bring a correction or an alignment,
yep.
see the reaction. Yep. Are they gonna continue show up with the same motivation,
yes.
posture, and effort, mm-hmm. or something's gonna turn down the level because they were more focused or looking for what they want to achieve or from what they want to get to serve, to bring to the table.
That's so good. And again, this isn't like a mold, one size fits all. We're not saying that these have to be the exact things that you have to follow. I'm just saying, and we're just saying that we've learned from experience. We're still growing, we're still evolving as a company, but let me tell you something, we're all about people. That's what our business is all about. So something that we have seen firsthand is all these different types of profiles of people. And something that we've listed out as kind of cues or markers, we've actually written them down, is look for quiet doers. Mm-hmm. Quiet doers are the ones that they're not just busy, but they're the ones that they're in development mode. They're looking for solutions. They're looking for ways to make things better. And I think it's always so encouraging when you have those people on your team that they're the quiet doers, but then they come to you and say, like, look what I've been developing. And it's just like, wow, this is incredible.
Yes.
And so that is a piece, I would say, part of the DNA of a really solid leader is someone who is a quiet doer. The second one that we wrote down here is loyal questioners. And so sometimes people are a little afraid, like, well, wait, questioners? Like, this person's going to be asking too many questioners? But not necessarily. They're the ones who ask questions, but are, like you said, they're okay with the feedback.
Yep.
They're okay with the positive or negative feedback. They're okay with sometimes you don't have an answer, but they're loyal. So they're willing to continue moving forward. That is the type of leader that you want, and not just someone who's going to be a pushover. We're not saying pushovers, but we're saying people that they're the ones who they're loyal through and through, right? Mm-hmm. They're there with you in the good moments. They're there with you in the bad moments. They question, they ask questions, they receive the responses that you're giving them. Those are the types of leaders you're looking for.
Yeah, they are willing to put the skin into the game.
I love that.
Not just gain things from the reward of the game. And sometimes you're gonna see these only like in the quiet moments.
Oh yeah.
When no one is seeing, there is no big reward or shouting for your position of something that you have done, but you are there asking questions and not just asking questions, but say, okay, how can I help to answer those that you don't have the answer?
So good. And one thing that we've seen, and I wrote this one down as well as the last one, is they carry the weight without the title.
Yes.
And I think it's really important because the moment you give someone a title, good luck ever trying to change that, especially if you come to find out that they're not even ready for that title. And that's something that we've always looked at with types of people. It's like, do they carry the weight without the title? Mm-hmm. Do they rely more on the title rather than, their calling of who they are as individuals and their gifts and talents? Regardless of what the title is. So that's also another thing I would say is a huge indicator, something that you have to be looking at. It can either be a red flag or a green flag, right? Red flag is like, probably not going to work out, or green flag, like, they have a lot of potential.
Yes.
And that is a key indicator that you have to begin to follow when you're looking for these hidden leaders, these people that they're hidden gems. You got to go find them. You got to be willing to put in the hard work to go find them.
Yes.
And know what you're looking for. The second one we want to talk about is raising leaders who just started. Because again, we're kind of following the sequence that we have here is finding, raising, and releasing. So now that you found these people, now you have to raise up these people, right?
Yep.
Because again, like you said, they're not necessarily always ready. So I want to kind of dive into this, and I really want to see from your point of view when we're talking about raising up leaders, like what does it take to raise up leaders?
Yes, I would say that a practical step is to delegate things. First of all, before even delegating, to identify what level of leadership or maturity related to the relationship or the person responsibility in the role does a person carries first. So then you can say, okay, let me start delegating things. And one thing that is important for when you're delegating things, first of all, identify, okay, what is the level of this person? What is my ultimate goal when I'm delegating this? I need to communicate this with clarity. And also, I need to make sure that I bring different outcomes. So I see different reactions. You know what I mean?
That's really good.
In some sense, you're helping them to evaluate, not just you evaluating the person, the results, but also helping them to evaluate themselves and being part of this journey, to be active workers for their own development in the leadership.
That's so good. And one thing that we kind of integrate within our type of community, and we would say growth culture, is we always are looking at these three things: feedback, failure, and responsibility.
Yep.
This setting this up and setting this ecosystem up, and this, I would say, like this processes or systems of like really going through the feedback loops and helping them and identifying and talking with them, because it takes time to do this, right? It takes commitment to do this. It takes consistency to do that. One thing I've learned a lot with you is like, okay, we got to be consistent. Setting this up, I believe, is going to raise them up to the higher bar. But here's the thing, Bia, and we've both known this: if there is no foundation, there is no way they will ever rise to the equation, to the occasion. If there is no equation, if there is no foundation, if there is no base, if there is no pillars in play, you can find them, but they won't last very long.
Yeah.
And they won't rise to that occasion, to that standard. That's something we've learned, is like, when you get the people, and that's something, please pay attention to this if you guys are watching this. When you capture these people, like when you capture the lead, right? When you bring in these people, if you do not have the infrastructure in play, the chances of those people staying or even developing, let's just say maybe they'll stay. They'll be there because they're going to be they get a paycheck, right? They're going to keep working, but they'll never go to that level. And I've talked to so many business owners that have said, like, Ryan, I got a bunch of people in my company, they're working, but none of them are leaders. And I'm kind of like, I just keep bringing in more and more people, but no one's raising up as leaders. And I asked the person, I said, have you built the infrastructure? What kind of infrastructure do you have? So I said three things here, but is there anything that I missed in here within like feedback, failure, responsibilities, anything beyond that you as a leader believe are necessary in the culture development?
Not something new, but something just adds up what you already said. Something that is important for us to have in mind, in consideration when raising leaders, it is our part of the investment.
Come on, that's so good.
Because that's what you were saying, having the foundation, have the structure, that's your part of the investment. Because you're pretty much helping them to polish, you're pretty much enhancing, and that's require a foundation first, so you can show them how to do things, but you're stable. You have a stability to help them to show what are the potential skills, ability that they can grow, that they can enhance, they can refine to achieve a next level. And this investment, when we talk about ROI, the return of the investment, that is something that you have to have in mind. Like, okay, I'm going to help not just to be, I have the right foundation. It's not just, as you said, just about giving titles, putting titles over people. No, I have the foundation, the structure to make sure that I'm in my position, so I can starting to help the others to be in the position that I want to raise them for.
That's so good.
And that's something that we always have to think about, that it requires a big amount of investment of the leadership. Like, raise leaders with the consistency, build the foundation, show the structure, and sometimes even patient, because sometimes they don't even realize that you are putting so much into that process or even journey.
Yeah.
But as the time progresses, if you bring like the right feedback with the right analysis, show them how to evaluate things, give them an opportunity to delegate according to the level of leadership, and help them to scale as the time progresses, you're going to receive the return of the investment.
That's so good. I love that. And this is so fundamental for any organization. Again, it doesn't matter what level of I would say it doesn't matter what level your company is in regards to revenue. It doesn't matter if you have 2 people or 1,000 people. If you follow these principles, you always have leaders. You will always have leaders. And I keep getting, like, it's always coming to my mind, in my heart. You'll always have leaders. And that's something that in my life that I made a commitment that I will never lack leaders. I will always have leaders at my disposal. Not disposal, but you get the point. Like, I'll always have leaders when I need someone. I'll have someone to put. And that only came as a result of making a commitment to myself that I am going to walk with people, that people are more important than processes. People are more important than revenue. People are the most important thing, regardless of like where the world is going right now, right? In the digital world, we think that robots are going to replace everyone, and it's probably going to replace a bunch of people, but like, it's not going to replace everyone. You're still going to have those people in play. And I believe more than ever, it's going to need to be, you're going to have leaders, and you're going to need to invest more than ever into people for the development of leadership. And I really believe that as we build these types of things, and as you build these types of things, it's going to create so much positive energy in your company. It's going to be I would say, the fuel to inspire you to keep going. Because we listened to this today, like when we were on our stand-up call today, and just listening to people, how their lives were transformed as a result of people investing into them. We were talking specifically with people talking about Marcus. Marcus is a person that we've had in our company that's been working with us, and shout out to Marcus. But I just want to, I was listening to the people talking about Marcus and hearing like how he walked with those people, and not like how their lives were impacted. And I'm like, there's nothing that will ever replace that.
Yes.
No robot will ever replace that. That's something that comes as a result of you and I investing into Marcus, investing our time, and it just replicates.
Yes.
And replicates over and over again.
And also, this food that you were saying, like, this is a food for the company, this is a food for the business. That means legacy. Because there is no way that your company can go on and scale and have the growth that I believe any business that is started, like you started with in the marketplace, you want to see success. You want to achieve new levels if you don't have a structure to generate legacy.
Hands down.
And that's amazing, because when we invest people with the right systems in place, with the right mentality, calculating the costs, the investment that you have to bring to, as the time progresses, you're going to start to receive the investment, like the return of the investment.
Hands down. And that's that third thing is sending them out, right?
Yes.
Is launching them out, is releasing them. And I think there is so much power in releasing leaders into your organization. That demands a lot of humility, and it also demands security. You have to believe in yourself. You cannot be an insecure person. And I wrote this down, that leaders don't compete with their team, they complete the mission. And when you release leaders to go into your organization, it's not a competition. There's healthy competition. Don't get me wrong, right? It's great to have competition, but in this context, you're building legacy. You don't have to be afraid that, I raised up this leader and they're going to replace me. I would believe that strong leaders actually want that to happen. They want that legacy where they're not so necessarily needed. Especially we're talking about business owners, right? Raising up leaders where you don't have to be the center of the universe. You have these leaders in play, you've built this legacy. It's so important.
And you have the freedom to fly to others like inventors in your life and other things that you decided to develop in your career. But it's something important regarding to release. It's sometimes that you also need to be aware that you're gonna give the right investment to the people, you're gonna train them, prepare them, and maybe they do not become the type of leaders that you're expecting for. And although this happened, you need to let it go, but that does not mean that, first of all, you should evaluate yourself and say, okay, what are the things that I miss? And maybe you haven't missed anything, and you need to recognize also a celebration, or just in some sense, you have to recognize, okay, I did my part.
That's so good.
And though this leadership did not end up maybe give me any immediately or directly return of my investment, but at least I did my part, and that's part of the business as well.
Part of the business.
Yeah.
That is so good. That is part of the business. Please listen to this before we go. Raising leaders isn't a threat. You need to understand this. It's not a threat. It is the greatest gift that you can give to your company. Raising leaders is something that is essential for every entrepreneur. And if you have questions about this, you're like, well, Ryan, we listened to this podcast. This was great. We love these teachings. You know, we love hearing what you guys have to say, but I really need some help. Please contact us. We are here to walk with you. This is part of who we are with Humify. We love developing leaders. We love developing people, but maybe you're needing a little bit extra help. Contact us today. Bea and I, we're always available to be able to help in any way that we can. Yes, we have a business to run. Yes, we have things we need to do, but at the same time, we model what we teach. We're all about people, and we want to see you flourish. So please contact us. Check out humify.io, and we have a link there that you can connect with us on, and we'd love to talk with you and see how we can serve you and your company and your people. And I believe, again, this topic of leadership is something so essential for today. And I believe that if you apply it and truly walk it out and give time for it, you're going to have strong leaders in your organization. And I guarantee you will build a legacy that outlasts you. And that is our responsibility as entrepreneurs. Build legacy that outlasts us. Until the next episode, please check out our other episodes that we have, different sessions that we have. We have different segments as well. We'd love for you to stay connected with everything that we're doing here at Humify as well as Partners Corner. Thanks. Have a great day.